All right, we are in business.
Yay.
Okay. So, want to walk you guys through using Facebook Ad Manager. So let me share my screen. All right, can you see it?
Yes.
Great. Let me get to Facebook. Perfect. Okay, great. Close this. How do I close that? Okay. Okay. So Facebook Ads Manager, you see this little drop down arrow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you click that, that's where you can bring up Ads Manager. And you do it by selecting Create Ads.
Okay.
Okay? So you select Create Ads, and it's going to bring you to the screen where you need to decide, like, what is it that you want to accomplish with your ad campaign. So you can promote your page, but I haven't done that, nor have I done any of the other ones like events or sending people to your website or increase conversions. I stick to the basics and I just boost a post. So if I put a post out there about like a free challenge group or I have my 30-day coming up, then I'll use this to boost that post so that it gets more publicity. Yeah. So we're going to select Boost Post. And this is, if you have multiple pages that you manage, it'll bring up, okay, what page? I say Freedom Runner Girl. And it's going to ask me, so what's the post that you want to boost? So you would just select, I'll just choose this one, the one that I did earlier this morning, and then hit continue. So it's going to bring you to this screen, and this is really where you get as granular as you can about the target audience that you want to hit with your boost. So it allows you to first choose by location. So I always choose the US and Canada because that's where we have a Beachbody presence. So in addition to US, like why not? So I just add in here, I type in Canada. Oops. And it allows me just to choose that country, all right? If there's certain areas of the US that you just wanted to target, like you could be that specific if you wanted to.
Okay.
Because we're an online business, I'm not sure why we would, but you have that option. So you can see that just by simply targeting US and Canada, see that this potential reach over here, over to the right-hand side, we see we're targeting 208 million people. So a lot. And as we put more requirements around who we're targeting, we're going to start to see that number go down.
Okay.
So as we talked about in the call the other day, we want to target in between like 400,000 to 800,000, or like Liz was saying, she targets 500,000 to like 1 million. So, but in and around that range. So if you scroll down, you can target your group even more. So for age group, so like for me, I always try to target like folks that I have some things in common with. So I might choose like, I'll go down to 30. I'll say 30 to like 55. Oops. Okay, and I only want to target women. All right, and I never enter in language, assume it's English. So this is where things start to get a little bit interesting. We can add in demographics, interests, or behaviors. So I always like to browse. I'm finding that I'm kind of targeting some of the same demographics. So I go to browse and you can see all the different options. So if I go to demographics, the first thing I do is I target education. So I target education level and I do college grad. And the reason why I do that is because, again, I'm targeting people like me who are working moms, corporate moms who share some of the same interests that I do. And also, if I think about people that have an interest in health that are my target market that are going to want to make the investment in themselves in Shakeology, like likely that's going to be, who I want to hit. So I select college grad. And then I don't do anything beyond that, but you could, if you wanted to, pinpoint somebody who's in college or has their master's degree, you could go, that high. Next, I like to choose moms. So I go to generation. I could choose, actually I don't do generation, sorry, but you could, like I could choose baby boomers and Generation X if I wanted to. Sorry, I go to life events. And that's where I go to, wait a minute, what am I not finding? Parents, that's what I want. Here we go, moms. So for me, like there's a lot of different options you can choose. There's a couple different ones that I choose, again, like for my target market. I want corporate moms. I want moms of grade school kids and moms of high school kids. So folks that have, for me, a little bit more time, that are starting to think about like taking care of themselves. Their kids are self-sufficient. If you were targeting newer moms, you would choose, a different target market. So for me, that's what I choose. Those are the three. Like you could add fit moms if you wanted. You could add, green moms. That's just what I do there. Now next, I also go to home. And I'm targeting homeowners. So again, I'm looking for kind of that married, college-educated homeowners who have a family. So I choose home ownership, and I just go to homeowners, not first-time home buyers. All right. So you can start to see, like look over here, my numbers are starting to go down. So I'm now with college grads, homeowners, corporate moms of these age groups that own a home. I'm now hitting 48 million as opposed to 280. So I'm getting there. So from here, I could add something like who are also interested in, like I go to interest groups. This is, you can see the ones that I have already picked up. Just because it knows these are ones that I've chose before. But if you want to browse and go to interests, this is where you could refine it even more. Like you could go into people who are in specific areas of business or people who were interested in, I don't know, something in the entertainment industry, I guess. I go to fitness and wellness and I say, okay, like I'm interested in people who are interested in running, physical exercise, physical fitness, nutrition. Okay. So based on those, you can see that it really didn't adjust my reach. It actually went like a little bit higher. Here's where you can narrow it even more. When you choose this exclude people or narrow audience, I always choose the exclude people. I think if there's folks who you want to carve out of that 57,000, I use narrow audience because I want people who are really like all these things and must do this. So this is where you can really start to get granular. So this is where I would say something like, so in addition to being a corporate mom, like, and you might just happen to like running or maybe not, I only want people who like running. So if I select that here, look at my numbers.
Wow.
So I'm down to 19 million. Okay, good. So now I want to take it even further. I might say, and so I'm going to narrow it even further than that. I'm going to select a new field. So they must like running, but not just running. I want also Christian runners. So I could add in here like people who like Proverbs 31 ministries. So running and Proverbs 31, look at where I'm at, 900,000. Boom. Like that's really where I want to be. Or I could narrow my running even further. Let me X that out and say, I want people who only like long distance running. Because that's what I like. So let me see what that does. Long distance running and Proverbs 31. There's only 1,000 of us. Okay, so I probably want to widen that a little bit more, right? So I want to take that off, and I will add in, even if I wanted to take it a little bit further than running, like I could say half marathon. So you just kind of play around and see what works. Half marathon plus Proverbs 31, 220,000. Not bad, but I want to go a little bit higher than that. So, you know, maybe I'll plug in, I don't know. I'm just going to put, did I put long distance? So this is where it starts to get funny. So there's a long distance. And then see, there's a long dash distance. And if I choose this one, I've just learned this before. Oh, maybe that didn't work. It only brought me to 73,000 people. So what I'll probably do is take this and bump this back up to just running. And with running and Proverbs 31, my reach is 900,000 people. I could play around a little bit and say, well, but I really want only long distance. So let me put long distance runners here. Distance running. And rather than target Proverbs 31, maybe I want, let's try like focus on the family. That's still pretty low. Or maybe I want to take this one off and let's see. Long distance running. I think it would be higher than that. Oh, still. So you can see, like, just play around with it. But I think what I've done, I thought I had, oh, where'd you go? I thought I used a combination of, what happened to it? Oh, I lost it somehow. Oh, wait. Why is this 2? Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. It looks like 2 Ads Manager pages might be in there.
I know. But it's not allowing me to choose use existing campaign. Let's see what this did. No. I'm not sure what happened to it. But I won't go through every single one again, but I would say like my recommendation would be use, the fields here to kind of narrow your demographic. And then where you start to get really granular is when you not only include your demographics, but then you start to narrow your audience. And that's where you can get, it's going to look for that as a requirement versus just a guideline. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So
now in our
go ahead.
Facebook profile, like, I don't know that I did like a whole, I have selected a few interests when I filled out my Facebook profile, but I didn't put like everything like soup to nuts in there. Like, I don't know, pick all of my interests. I just put a couple where I graduated from, and maybe put health and fitness in there. But I enjoy running, but I don't know that I put that in there as one of my activities.
Yeah.
And when I went through this one time before, I was like, oh, but I don't want to exclude this. And I had a hard time narrowing down because I'm like, I don't want to exclude that person. But I guess you really have to hone it down so people actually see it. Is that why you've honed it down?
Right, exactly. Because if we cast the net like too wide, it almost becomes like more, what they talk about is it almost becomes more like white noise. Like you're not getting it to the people that you really want to see it. You might be getting exposure out there, but it's really not quality exposure because it's not necessarily meeting like that target market that you're looking for, which, and the other good question that you bring up, Wendy, that I don't know the answer to, so beyond like activities and interests, whether or not we completed in the profile, I know, Facebook has some pretty intelligent algorithms, whether or not it's also based on like what we post.
True. Yeah.
So I think that that has something to do with it too. Now, I don't know that for sure, but
yeah, it's true though.
Yeah. But I would say, like, as hard as it is to narrow it down, like, just play with the numbers a little bit. Like, even if you're on the higher end, that 800,000 to $1 million, it's still better than, 189 million.
Yeah, true. And then another question I did see up there when we had the one screen up about, I don't know, your ad potential. Is it like $10 a day, or how much do you normally pay for this, and how often? Yeah, there it was, daily budget, and how many days do you run an ad for, or that type of
I would say, and this is what I did. Like, I started small, so I think they say that typically what gets the best exposure for challenge groups is like a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, when people are sort of coming off from the weekend. And I've heard folks in Team Believe say like Monday night, Tuesday night, like that's when it's the best time to boost the ads. So you can choose not only how much you pay per day, but you can choose when you want it to run. Like I could set this and say, okay, my daily budget, I want to do $5 a day. And I only want to run it at a set time. And I want to do it, I want to do that Monday the 18th, and I want it to go out at 7:00 p.m. And I only want to run it for 3 days. So I want to hit Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I want to do Wednesday. I want to finish it at 9:00.
Okay.
And what will happen is it tells you, so $5 a day, that's my total spend. To advertise those 3 days, it's going to cost me $10.41.
And that is what you did, Tammy? You didn't spend a lot more money?
I think the most I spent is I did run one over a weekend. I did like a Friday to Tuesday, and I think I spent like $20.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, which isn't bad.
No.
And I wish I could bring that up so you could see my stats. I might be able to. Let me go there for a sec. Bear with me for a sec. Okay. let's see. Let's see if it's going to tell me. Okay. So on this one, this is the last one that so this was my 30 days to my next PR. You can see, so that was my 30-day group. I paid $25 and I reached 37,000 people. So I ended up, and I had 92 post engagements. So whether that was a like, a share, a comment, whatever. And that cost me 27 cents per engagement. Let's see.
And did you have people join from that, or at least like you're connecting with them now?
Connecting with them, yeah. So the way that I set it up is what I boosted from my post was an advertisement to my challenge. But the way that I set it up is when they clicked on the link to get more information about it, they had to go to my website, and if they wanted more information, they needed to input their email address. So I captured their email address, and I now have that. So I reached out to them to say, hey, thanks for expressing interest. Let's talk a little bit about what your goals are. And so that started the conversation from there.
Okay.
What I also did was I used that not necessarily just for my challenge, but like I put together a half marathon running plan, training plan. Mm-hmm. And I put that on my site, linked to my site. I put the post out there just saying, hey, free half marathon training plan. And that also allowed me, whoever downloaded my plan, they had to first enter in their email address, which I then captured. And in the email back to them confirming thanks for signing up, it included a copy of my plan.
Okay.
That training plan. Okay. So I'm trying to get a little bit better at, and that's through like all the enhancements that I made to my website through Practical Social Media University.
Okay.
Rather than have people comment just through Facebook, to capture that email and then get it into Streak, I'm trying to get a little bit more, purposeful about that, so that I have that point of contact. And that has been really good.
Good.
That's been really helpful.
But they're just on Facebook, though, to your page, you just have to rely on them leaving an email address. Okay.
Yep. So is that helpful?
Yeah.
Very, yes.
Good.
And so each time you did it, did you just do the $5 per post, like how you changed it from $10 to $5, and you saw results just from spending a little bit?
I did. So in this case, like I was just looking at, I don't even know what this one was. I'd have to look at it, but this might have been like my test. Or maybe this was after the fact. Oh, you know what this was my download my plan. So
okay.
I spent $10. I only did it for 2 days just because I wanted to test it out. Mm-hmm. And for 2 days, I got, 200. And my reach was 764. So my average was much higher than even this one up here, my 30-day. And so I paid 5 cents per engagement.
That's great.
Yeah. So let me just make sure. Was that it? What was that one? Yep, that was just the 2. Yeah. And so I targeted, this is where I got like really specific. I went a little bit lower and said 18 to 50 and kind of targeted some of the same stuff in that boost. So, and Facebook will send you a daily update of what your reach is for that day. and you can cancel at any point in time. Like if it's not getting the reach that you want, you did it for 5 days, like you could cancel. It charges you per day.
Okay.
And it'll tell you that. They'll tell you when they charge and how much.
Okay.
Great.
Great.
So that's it, ladies. I would just play around with it. Like before you even publish anything, just play around with the demographics to narrow your audience and to just see kind of what's the combination that hits the right target that you're trying to reach based on, you know, who you're trying to attract and what their interests are.
Okay.
Great.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. I hope you have a fantastic weekend.
You
Bye.
too.
See you
Thanks.
later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.